Tokyo, Japan, December 30th, 2000. It was the night before New Year's Eve. In a quiet middle-class neighborhood, the Miyazawa family was spending a normal evening together in their home. The father, Mikio Miyazawa, was 44 years old. He worked at an advertising company. He was known as a kind, responsible man who spent most of his free time with his children. His wife, Yasuko, was 41. She was a schoolteacher who sometimes helped at the local kindergarten. They had 2 young children. Their daughter, Nina, was 8 years old. Their son, Ray, was only 6. The children were quiet and well-behaved. Their home was filled with drawings, books, and toys. The family lived in a 2-story house next to a small public park. The area was safe. People didn't worry about locking their doors. It was the kind of neighborhood where nothing bad ever seemed to happen. But on that cold December night, something terrible did happen. Sometime between 11:30 p.m. and 1 a.m., an unknown man entered the Miyazawa home. He came in through a small window in the second-floor bathroom. The window was left slightly open for ventilation. There was no sign of forced entry. What happened next was brutal. The first victim was little Ray. The killer went to his bedroom and attacked the sleeping boy. He was smothered and then stabbed. Mikio, the father, heard a noise. He rushed upstairs. He fought the attacker at the base of the staircase. A violent struggle followed. Mikio was stabbed repeatedly. He tried to fight back, but the attacker was fast and ruthless. Then, the killer moved upstairs. There, he found Yasuko and Nina hiding together in a bedroom. He stabbed them both, over and over. The entire family was now dead, but the killer didn't run away. He didn't leave the scene. Instead, he stayed inside the house for hours. He walked through the rooms. He used the computer. He connected to the internet around 1:18 a.m. He went into the kitchen. He ate ice cream from the freezer. He drank several bottles of tea. He made himself at home. He used the toilet, but he didn't flush. His waste was left behind along with traces of his DNA. He even took a nap on the family's couch. By the time he finally left hours later, he had touched almost every part of the house. When the family didn't answer the phone the next day, a relative came to check on them. She opened the front door and found the horrifying scene. Police arrived quickly. What they found was shocking, not just because of the violence, but because of how much the killer had left behind. There were over 130 pieces of physical evidence: clothing, blood, fingerprints, footprints, and even sand. The killer had taken nothing with him. He left behind a hip bag, a black sweater, a pair of gloves, a scarf, and even a sashimi knife, the one used in the killings. The knife was broken at the tip, likely from the force used during the stabbings. The clothing was especially strange. Most of the items were sized large and made by a specific brand only sold in Korea. Investigators believed the man may have been foreign, possibly Korean or part Korean. Inside the hip bag were grains of sand. When the sand was tested, it was found to contain particles from a specific skate park in Santa Monica, California. It was the kind of clue that raised more questions than answers. DNA from blood and waste showed the killer was a guy with type A blood, but there was no match in any Japanese databases. His fingerprints were clear, but again, they matched no one. Not in Japan, not internationally. CCTV footage from local shops showed a man buying items similar to the ones left at the scene, but the video was grainy, and no positive ID could be made. Despite all the evidence, despite a full DNA profile, fingerprints, and surveillance footage, the killer has never been caught. Over the years, theories have developed. Some believe the killer was mentally disturbed. He may have felt no fear, no guilt. That could explain why he stayed in the house for hours, acting like he belonged there. Others think he might have been homeless or on the run. Someone with nowhere to go. Someone who picked the house at random. There's also a theory that the family was targeted. Mikio had recently been involved in a workplace dispute. Some believe he made enemies, but no proof of a connection was ever found. To this day, the Setagaya family massacre remains one of Japan's most chilling mysteries. The case has never gone cold. Each year, on the anniversary of the murders, police return to the scene. They hand out flyers. They set up a tent with information. They still hope for a lead. The house has never been sold or torn down. It stands exactly as it was left, a quiet, frozen reminder of the crime. Inside are children's toys, drawings on the walls, a clock that stopped ticking long ago. In a country known for safety, the Setagaya murders shook the nation. It was a random, brutal killing in a peaceful place. And the most terrifying part, the killer walked in, killed a family, stayed for hours, and walked away without a trace. There's a long road in British Columbia, Canada. It's called Highway 16, but many people know it by another name, the Highway of Tears. Since the 1970s, dozens of women have gone missing along this road. Most of them were young. Many were indigenous. Some were found murdered. Others were never seen again. The first known case was Gloria Moody in 1969. She was a mother of two. After leaving a bar, she vanished. Her body was found days later in the woods. More names followed: Alberta Williams, Ramona Wilson, Roxanne Thyra, and Tamara Chipman. Some were last seen hitchhiking. Others were just walking home. In most cases, there were no witnesses, no suspects, and no answers. For years, families begged police to investigate, but nothing happened. Many believed the disappearances weren't taken seriously because the victims were indigenous. Eventually, a task force was created. It was called Project E-Pana. They looked at 18 cases along the highway, but even after years of work, very few were solved. One serial killer, Cody Legibakov, was caught in 2010. He was convicted of killing 4 women, but dozens of cases still remain open. Each missing woman has a story, a family, a future that was stolen. Today, signs line the highway. Each one says, "Girls don't hitchhike on the Highway of Tears." But in many small towns, there are few other options. This isn't just a mystery, it's a national tragedy, and it's still happening. To this day, many of the women lost on the Highway of Tears have never been found.